G'day, today we are back for session 10 of this one. Now I'm just going to pause straight off the bat here because there are a few things that some people point out that is well worth addressing. I made the comment of the irony of putting the lights in the room that where they need to sleep, and someone did point out, I didn't even pay attention to it yesterday, that, the other day when we played this one, that it actually was hurting. They genuinely weren't sleeping because of both that and the diffuser. So what we're going to do straight off the bat is make sure I get rid of those. So definitely thank you for pointing that out, because I certainly didn't even pay attention to it to notice it. The second thing was, there's three major things I felt from the comments from the last one, and thank you for all those that did comment. The airflow in the buildings was the other one. So what I'm going to do is change up the front of this to give me airflow tiles. Now we'll have to deconstruct that as well, just because it's now in the way. Cool. And what we're going to do is now get airflow tiles, and we're going to build airflow tiles there. Actually, we might make that one an airflow tile as well. A couple of these across the top. Now the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to deconstruct that door, and we are going to deconstruct these tiles. Someone did mention that they're probably better off leaving space between when the room starts and when they get off the ladder. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to push this back one square, so this room's going to be slightly smaller. There will be now airflow in there to sort of cater to that, the fact that there is no oxygen being made in there. And yeah, that hopefully should make it a little bit better. Now I guess I won't be able to reach those ones there. Just check. I suppose we can even build just like a temporary walkway across here, and then ask them to dig out sort of everything in that vicinity. The other thing was that people did answer my question about deconstructing just the pipe, that if I could just select deconstruct, I do get this option menu here. And so we can say liquid pipes only. And then that would mean that I can, in theory, do that. No, wrong type of pipes. Gas pipes. Ooh. Luckily I have no liquid pipes, and I can say gas pipes, and then I can just get all that back. Thank you for that suggestion. Okay, now that that's been cleared there, what I'm going to do as well is I am going to deconstruct those, deconstruct? Yeah, I'm just going to deconstruct these guys. Someone else pointed out that for this, one of the problems I was having was the sweep only ticked. Get rid of that will solve some of the things that weren't being shifted over there. And obviously what we need to now put back is a door. So we'll put a door in place there. So thank you to those that made those suggestions. They were definitely the first things I did read and sort of want to address. Someone else did suggest that I need to set up something to make sure I can get the actual usable water back out of this. That there's some different devices that I can do for that. So certainly I'm going to have to look into that one a bit more. I think that was the vast majority of the... just quickly check as well. A quick read. If you ever notice that with a lot of the comments and things, I do generally like them or love them pretty quick. And these ones are usually a bit later, and that's because what I'll do is at the point where I go to play my next game, I'll sit there and read all the comments so that they're fresh in my head as we go in. Stress, right, so that was the other major thing. Okay, so the stress was saying that I'm giving too many priorities to people, I think, which might be causing them stress. So I know that, say, Travaldo was quite stressed, so possibly just knocking... I was just giving them priorities for things that they seem to enjoy as well. So I think what we'll do is certainly just sort of knock a few off so that these guys don't hit the stress levels the way that they were. As we can see that our max stress is getting quite high, and that is for Travaldo. Hopefully they'll sleep a little bit better. Let's just check out the oxygen overlay in there. We can see that that is still quite good. Salt water. And those guys look worthwhile, so we'll take that one. Let's get a bit of sweeping. Clean that room up a little bit more. Now I can see I do have this water sort of still sitting along here, but I'm okay with that. I think this is full enough that I don't want to sort of risk pumping this into it and sort of over flooding it. I don't think it would necessarily overflood with all that, but certainly no rush to move all of that. Maybe what we'll do is probably enough that we can just dig out those two there. Alright, now let's just go look at those priorities again for Travaldo. Hopefully it's just that it's a little sort of delay on that's causing his stress not to come back down. Just have a look at my guys again, just as a quick... positives, negatives. Someone did make the comment that I've made a mistake by, or not a potential problem by putting the plants in this room when someone was allergic. I don't know if possibly, I mean the only time I can recall recently noting that someone was allergic was one of the people that I was looking at through the printing pod. I didn't think that any of my guys were allergic to that. I know that was it Hassan or Travaldo or someone was definitely getting allergic reactions when they were having to clean up something. I don't quite recall what it was. Well, actually, no, I don't think I ever worked out what it was that they were allergic to. Now, what we might do up here is we will sort of just dig out. So we want to dig out all of that and put a ladder in there too. Yeah, I think we're okay to mop all that up. I don't think it's gonna flood this or sort of overfill it. That's fine. So the next thing we want to do now, I think, is move my mess room. Trying to think of a good location for it. I think once I sort of get up here, it's It's almost too... It's starting to be too warm. So I don't really want to put them up here. But if I was to put them down here, I would want the roof to be... Like, I would want it at least 3 squares high, so they would be sitting in here. Now, the alternative could be that I could put on the other side of this room, but again, then it would be sort of amongst this. So, uproot that. Let's try and just make some shifts for this in the morning. What our goal is going to be in the morning will be to relocate everything here and then see if we can get this room set up similar to this, just underneath it. Okay, so what we want to do first is we'll get that ripped up. We will get a oxygen diffuser and put it there. Once he's built, what we'll do is we'll remove this one. So we're basically just going for a one-for-one sort of transfer. Okay, so we can deconstruct that one. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that we need this. Now that we've sort of got our food a bit more under control, I'm going to deconstruct that and I'm not going to replace it. Crafting station, I think I might have doubled up already anyway, because I've got a crafting station down there, so I don't need him. I'm ignoring how little I use that as is anyway. And then we want to put in one more oxygen diffuser. So, knowing that I've got so many down here, got one there, one here. I'm not quite sure where the best spot for it would be. It possibly would be in this section still. So, for this guy, I'm going to deconstruct him and not replace him yet. Then what I'm going to do is order for all of that to be dug out. See if they can reach it, or if it's too high on this top level. The other good thing will mean that this will get a bit more algae down here. Now, without research finishing on the bottom, quite possibly. So, yeah, let's just do some, let it basically run. There's nothing that I'm currently aiming to have. I'm okay with moving it like that. Now, the other thing that I'll do is, since they can't reach the roof anymore, I will take this opportunity to claim that. I'll just dig out that one so they can still walk up to the mess room for now. But what it means is we're going to get all that algae as well. Now basically all we need is just the 6 tables in a mess hall that exists in here. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to build I'll try just a style like this. So I need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make it a little bit bigger just for... Let's make it a little bit nicer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a ladder as the entry point into it. Now the thought here is that it does mean that if... I imagine that if I've got my single sort of ladder up, it's to build something here, they'd have to walk through this room to get to that room, whereas this is more a style of, alright, well, what if I had rooms that are built off a main section? Although, does the room actually need a door? Is that where this is going to cause a problem? I just considered that as a thing. We say sort of mess hall. Doesn't necessarily say it does. Let's have a look. Let's play this as a test case. Yeah, we'll see if we can, if we build a room like this, will it be fine? Or will it still count itself as a room even though there's not a door? And I mean, potentially what I could do is still build a door here. We really should do something for Stinky in his bedroom too. That stress is still going up. Additional downtime. So I mean, is that... So should what I be doing is just sort of like not continuing to push so much and everything at the moment? Sort of almost stop my research so that Travaldo doesn't have to just keep working? Let's try that out. I'll just let him work on that one. And then once that's done, we'll just stop it for a little bit and see if he becomes a little bit happier. Okay, so our mesh tables. See if we can just make the roof a little bit nicer in here. And so it doesn't look like that's counting it as a room. Okay, so we're now not doing any research, and let's just see if this will help out Travaldo. I can see he's still running about at the moment. What we'll do as well is we will go for our wires. Just knock out all those ones. Might knock out those ones too there while we're at it. Okay, so lesson learned, not a room. So what we could do then though is go deconstruct that, deconstruct that, deconstruct that. Actually, I could just go the other way. I could... Let's think about this. That's probably fine, actually. Anyway, alright. Change my mind. Let's block that off, and then we'll deconstruct the ladder. Definitely doing something. Is it just because I'm selecting... I think my problem is I'm hitting deconstruct and I'm not correcting that. That's why I'm having a weird time of it. Okay, so deconstructed 3 of those. Because if now suddenly stopped work halfway through that being built, so luckily they can still use it, but certainly not a pretty thing. Stress is still going up. Alright, Travaldo. Work out what can we do to make Travaldo happier. Okay. Again, I probably didn't need to get rid of that airflow tile right there. Luckily, this seems to be like if it cost me the same amount to build something as it does to take it back. No harm, no foul, I suppose. And let's go back to those furnishings on the roof. And we probably also want to put a light in there. But I also might have to get rid of one of those furnishings in the middle. What else should I put in that mess to make him like it more? It's still a mess home. Does have a positive effect. At least. And so then what we want to do is get our electricity back to put a water cooler in there as well. What I'll do is I'll address that. I guess I was going to address the diffuser. Maybe what I'll do is put a bathroom up here, maybe. Now I think we want to get rid of the. We don't want to continue with the outhouses. So there's a replacement for the outhouses at some point. Which are the... What would I classify them under? Toilet? What else could it be? Outhouse. I'm not quite sure what they should be looking for. There's certainly a replacement. Now, I probably don't even have the materials yet to make whatever it is. stress is still going. He's still not happy. Now, possibly, yeah, you can see he's starting to lose the plot here. But I don't know what to do for him. Now I realize working down here is I think something someone did point out. That's possibly part of his problem, is that the supercomputer and the research station should be moved north, because it's going to be bad for their morale being down near that. So that's what we're going to work on now. So we'll try and see if we can address Travaldo's problems by giving him a new area for the research center. So what we'll do is build up like that, and then dig out these, and then we'll make a hard tile across here. And then we might also just knock out a few of these to create a bit more airflow for this room. And then also put that there. We may as well just finish off that whole row down the bottom then. And put in a door there. Now that's nowhere near big enough, is it? It'd be almost the exact size. So while they sleep, let's cancel those three. And we will just extend it out two more. Two more tiles there, and then it is the supercomputer and the research station that we want. Supercomputer in the corner. Research station we'll put inside it. And obviously, once I dig all that, I think it does it itself anyway. And then what we will do is we will deconstruct these two, because we potentially won't use them until after they're moved, just to try and help out Travaldo. We will also put light in the room for them. And then let's give them a lovely little corner molding there. Although it has to be built on a corner, so I can't do it until that corner exists. Oh, Travaldo is looking awful. So we definitely want to move that too. Okay, so that corner should now exist. And power. Ah, Stinky's got himself caught. Dig your way out. Probably started him a bit far back there for how much he needs to do. There we go. Stinky, you're free. Oh, that's looking awful. Okay. Be anything. What can we use to relax? Thought there was like a massage table or something. Maybe it's not something I've researched yet. Oh, maybe I made that up in my head. Or maybe I'm just terrible at searching for things in the... Lovely. There we go. Okay, so let's celebrate the moment by just... Probably computers isn't going to be the most pressing thing here. Let's go back up to the top and do hour. Now what I'd say we want to do... We do want to get that, that oxygen generation that we removed. We probably want to put on this row, sort of down here. Now, whether I actually want to keep... actually, it doesn't matter whether I intend on keeping this as dirt for a while or not. It will... Like, this should still be sort of 3 down removed as it is. So it'll just be... It won't get shifted again. It'll just sort of stay where it is. So, oxygen. Diffuser. Here. Power. Wire. Stress. Alright, well, I'd say today's probably the last day of this current session. And definitely the question for the next one, I think the big one is going to be... how do we make Travaldo happier? Now, an interesting thing is that I've blocked this off in order to get that water out. That water, with the exception of that tiny bit up there, is now gone. So I could open this back up, but the only thing that's down there is just carbon dioxide. So all I've now successfully done is just blocked off a whole bunch of carbon dioxide into a chamber that can't be released into the rest of my community. So, unsure about whether I should unblock that with any speed. There's the look at what that looks like now that it's cleared out the bottom too, so all the water's now accessible by that pump. Okay, this guy's now back in the mix, hopefully helping out. Actually, where they should be doing a lot of their living now. Alright, now it's moping about unrefrigerated food. So I think this is again where we really should start to pickle some of it. Now, I'm sure there must be somewhere where I can give them the priority that they're not to eat the pickled stuff first. Gives them mild -1 anyway if they eat it. Sounds like omelets are the thing they want. Egg innards is a very unappealing way of describing that. So that does sound like then critters is going to be where I need to start looking into those. For now, yeah, I think that's on the back burner for a lot of mealwood seeds now, which is good. That room isn't even considered a... I mean, I guess I'd never considered it a research room was an actual thing anyway. Scheduled downtime feels like what we need to be looking at. What if we just give everyone an extra 2 hours of downtime a night? Assume that's hours, so 24. Assume that's 24 hours. They're just hanging around the water cooler doing something, so even if it's a temporary fix, 'cause I don't think I've got anything that's too pressing that they need all the hours in the day. The gas down here is looking bad though, so what do we want? A deodorizer. Remember where that lives. Can I click on one and say duplicate or something? Oh, there we go, copy. Great. Put one there. And maybe let's put one there. Alright, another interesting session. I guess we're like a little bit prettied up here. And yeah, let's see if next time we can make Travaldo a little bit happier. Alright, until then, see ya.